Well, I have the old last word indicator and the jig borer here, and I'm knocking a piece of material true. Let's see how it's looking. That's looking pretty good there. How about that? Okay. Let's start snugging it down. Now notice I'm using table clamps here, not a vise. How's that doing? It's holding in there good. Okay, I'll get that snug down. Tight, but not too tight. And I'll come back from the other side here with another tool. Here is a Criterion S5-1.5 square head. 1/2-inch boring bars, and here's a very sharp 1/2-inch boring bar. It just came off that cutter grinder. We'll put it back on as needed, and I'm going to give this head a try. All right, we'll get this set up, get the bar in it. So, when you use this machine to get the most out of it, you want to be consistent as possible. And you got to have sharp tools. And in order to keep sharp tools, at times it's most practical to be able to remove the tool and return it and have it be on center. And this is how I do that. So I got the machine centered on the center of this rotary table. So the y-axis going this way is at 0. It's set here at 6. The x-axis is at 0. And it's set here at 8. So you can tell instantly if it's not where it should be. Okay? So I'm going to take this tiny little combination center drill and I'm going to put a little tiny mark right in here. And let's do that. Get it in gear. Hit the button. Okay, kicked it up to 1200. Now I'm going to move the y-axis in. And I'm going to put that little mark. And here it goes, just a tiny mark. You see it? Okay, now I'm going to put the boring head in. Hit the brake. Okay, I made that tiny little mark with that very small little combination center drill, okay? Tiny mark. I had to move the y-axis this way. But I can return it to 0 by setting it for 0 here and 6 here. We're pulling it back. Okay, I'll put the boring head in and we'll get a bore in there. Okay, we take this boring head and you put the feed dial towards the back. It feeds that way. So we'll turn that towards the back. You see this flat edge here? Facing the back, and I'm going to take this square across those vertical ways, and I'm going to square the head. About as good as I can here. There. Looks real good right there. Now I'm going to take this boring borer, and since it feeds this way, it's going to point this way. And I got that square there so I can keep squaring it. Get that in there. Okay, see the point? Now I'm going to snug it a little bit so it doesn't fall out. It's really hot outside. Just have that back down a little further than I normally do. Someday it'll get there. That's a bunch of quarter turns I should have. There we are. Okay. So you can move things a little bit. I want to make sure it's just kind of snug, but not too snug, just kind of hanging in there. I'll put that square back. Yeah, you can feel it go in, and you just slide it and see it's square. Okay, now we're going to bring this down. And I will take you loose. Maybe I can extend this that far. Let's see. I think that should be okay. I'll point out what we got. Now right there's that little dot I made. And we got the head square, so I'm going to rotate this bar over like this. Have to loosen it. It's a fiddly kind of thing. Get that in there. You'll notice that these square heads are often used on jig borers. They're really quite stiff. Okay, we're on zeros everywhere. I got this down. I'm going to square it one more time. Looks real good. Now, see the point on that dot? I'm going to just slightly rotate it. I'm going to bring it right down. I have to back it off a little bit here. You see what I'm doing? I'm lining that point up with that dot. And even have some control at just where you set your point on that dot. Like I like to set it not like just in the center of that dot, but maybe at the outer edge of it to account for torsion on the bar. So that's how I'm going to set that. One more check with the square. The round heads usually have a flat down low you can use the square on. Okay, I'm going to slip in here. Snug that bar in good. Okay. I'll rotate around. See? Feeds in that way. Now I bring back the saddle to zero. This thing's not twisted as good as it could. Let's see that. So we have to look right here. I have the locks loose. And I'm going to bring it back to 6. On its mark right here, I think you can see that. There's just a little line. On 6, you can see on the dial, oh, I'm going the wrong way. So I have to go past. Now I'm coming back. Here's 0, 10. Oh, I went way past. There we are. We go 90. 0 right there. And of course these little tick marks are the tenths. So if you wanted to go 2/10, you just line up there. You know, if you wanted 2/10 more, 3/10. But we'll go back, bring it to 0. Okay, now the boring head is set up and ready to bore. So I'm going to clean out that hole, and then I'm going to do some diameter tests, see if I can hit a number. Okay. Okay, what we have here is a standard gauge company dial bore gauge, and it's an oldie but goodie. You can see it's got a control number on the back from somewhere. It had been checked somewhere. The gauge is a number 1A 5/8 to 1 inch. So we're closing in on an inch over here, making this hole bigger. Now, I've got this gauge set. Let me move the cameras close here. Shut up a little bit there. I got it in this bore, and I got it set at 0 right there. And what I'm going to try to do is take a 1/1000th cut using the collar up here, not adjusting the body on the head, but this collar. And it reads 0 to 30, and that's in 10,000ths. So I'm going to move it to 20, and we'll see how close that this cuts. Okay. This dial bore gauge reads in 10,000ths of an inch, and the space over to here is 1,000th. So it's on 0 right there, and I'm going to go ahead, back this over here a little bit. I'm going to drop the head back down. Okay. Now I'm going to set this collar, it reads 0 to 30. I'm going to set it at 20 and see where it goes from there. Okay, to set this, there's always play in mechanisms. So the torque, I'm going to hold it by the wrench flats up here, right there. So the torque's going to pull it this way, or what? Yeah. It rotates that way, so the drag's that way, and I can loosen this. I better get it over by me here. Loosens pretty easily. Unless you have it snug, I guess. Okay, that's loose. Get the wrench back on it. I gotta get it where I can read it, which is right here. Hold on, right there. It's a better wrench place. Okay, the torque's that way. See, it'll slop a little bit right there. You see that? You want to pull that over to here. And that's with any kind of mechanism that moves. It has to have some clearance or you won't be able to move it. Okay, so here's the scale, and I'm pulling it over to 20. On that upper scale, and that's right on. Okay. The little wrench in there. Get that better. Hold it. I better make sure that that's pushed over. Lock it. Okay. Get that off there. I'll get a little bit of that wax lube in there, so this aluminum, and I don't want it to weld to the tool. Okay, so we're set. Clutch engaged. Here it goes. Running about 800. It's definitely taken a chip. There's no perfect boring heads. Some will have advantages and disadvantages. These Criterion heads are very simple and nearly foolproof. Just almost at the end of the hole here. I think we are at the end of the hole. Okay, one of the advantages of this machine is to use a dial bore gauge. You don't have to move the table. You just lift the spindle housing up on these ways and they return exactly within millionths. Okay, that's what you pay the money for with these. Now they don't cost very much. I was told at one time these cost about 7 times the price of a Bridgeport. So we will see where this ends up. Well, that's pretty good. Look at that. It was at 0 here. And it's showing 1/10,000ths over 2. So I got that, let's see, just a 1/10 and a half. No, it's a 1/10. So 1/10, I dialed in 2 thousandths and it went a tenth over. So I'm going to give this a couple more tests and come to a conclusion. I'm going to do the same thing and see if I can repeat this. Okay.